Hi everyone, we've got another analysis video today, and to be honest, big thanks to the viewer who sent this in. Now it is pretty leery, to be honest, this one, and it shows the dangers of overtaking. Let's have a look at it. Now, I've been assured that everyone who was involved in this collision wasn't seriously injured. Although that's quite hard to believe, to be honest. There was a car that turned over. I don't know whether you caught the van that went down the actual ravine or the slope to the right hand side towards the end. So it was a pretty nasty one. As always, we're going to have a little look at seeing what people maybe could have done differently. And the first car that we're going to look at is the one that was overtaken. Let's have a look. Even though this road does look like a national speed limit road, for me the speed difference between the overtaking cars and the others was a big factor in this accident. Simply put, if you're catching people quicker, they have less time that they're possibly going to see you. Then add in the factor of overtaking multiple vehicles, and then risk becomes high quite quickly. It did also look that he got out of his car quite quickly and looked relatively uninjured. So there was, to be honest, little that the overtaking car probably could have done differently, but for me, I wouldn't have been overtaken in that particular way. I wouldn't have overtaken so many people at such a high speed compared to the people I was overtaking. And if I was coming up towards the white car and the close proximity that the white car was to the van, honestly it would have screamed out danger to me. But let's have a little look at the white car, because the white car seems to be the one to say cause most of the problems. I hate putting blame onto things. You always try and look at things in a way of what we can do better. But let's have a little look at the white car and see what could have gone on differently. First of all, its positioning to the white van was way too close. And this for me is a massive factor in the cause of the accident. I often say without a plan, it's just a reaction, and that for me sums up what the white car did. There were little or no observation, and there was no signal applied by the white car. A signal to overtake the van in this situation would be very, very useful. However, if you put a signal on with someone overtaking you, all that's going to lead to is massive panic. So to all the people who would say I would signal regardless, this cannot be the case. This proves that observation always takes precedent to just putting that signal on. This lack of looking was the major cause in this collision. Whenever a car rolls over, it's always a frightening event. But as I mentioned a little earlier, I've been reassured that no one was seriously injured. What I would like to say, just while we've got this incident that we're looking at, is what a great job this guy, the camera, appears to do. He was driving first of all at the correct distance, and that's why he didn't get anywhere near this collision. He stops his car and makes sure it's safe, and then he's out to help. Remember, call the emergency services as soon as you possibly can. And if you watch closely in a moment, he seems to have a little pause and assess which was the greater need for him to attend to. Yeah, the white one.
So that's not the best way to do an overtake. What is? Well, the easiest thing for me to do is show you what I would do. This is a little clip from a video of mine, one of the Drive Like an Instructor videos, and it's where I overtake a vehicle on a rural road. And let's see the planning that I actually do when I overtake. Is the tractor going to be an issue to the right? Don't think so. I think we're okay. Now, I do know this road pretty well, so there's not a lot of reading the road and discovering for me. I know there's a big straight section coming up, so I'm going to leave us in third gear because I am going to be potentially looking at an overtake. There's no one following me and no one going to be overtaking, so I'm going to assess it now. The road's clear. I'm going to put a signal on. I'm flashing my lights as well, and then I'm checking before I come back in. Now, flashing of the lights before you overtake. What do you think on that? Was that something that you would have thought of doing? Or would you be in that sort of mindset of flashing the lights is only to let someone through again? Add that to your driving, because it's a great way of making people aware that you're going to overtake them. It might have been something that you've seen before, but what about the flashing of the lights to actually preempt the overtake to make you seen? Is an important point. It's something that most people wouldn't think of before they overtook, but it is something that you could possibly do. Let's think of the first car that we had a look at, the one that was overtaking. Do you think a few flashes of their lights as they were overtaking may very well have made them a little bit more visible and a little bit more aware to the white car? Possibly. But you've also then got the problems with the contingent of people who think flashing is a way of letting people out. That's the big deal. That mindset of flashing means off you go needs to change, because then we can use the flashing of the lights as it's intended, as a warning. But now let's have a little look at the van. What could the van have done differently?
Quite simply, he couldn't have done anything differently. He just had a massive scary incident being tagged from behind, and then he had to go down that ravine. I feel for him. There looks as though there's some big trees about, and that slope looked pretty steep. To be fair though, the first guy who was overtaking does seem to check where the van went.
So overall, there's a fair few lessons that people can hopefully take from seeing this clip. Remember, it's not a blame game. We all make mistakes, including me, and sometimes, unfortunately, they can end up in serious incidents like this. But remember, always look. Don't just go for the signal, like I've mentioned, although it wasn't a big deal in this situation, but the look definitely was. Observations are the key. Observations are the things that stand good drivers apart from poor drivers. People often think it's how well they react. So if you have that mindset of thinking I can react really well and I can get myself out of trouble, what about not getting yourself into trouble in the first place? Preemptive with it, plan things, anticipate. But as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please keep sending the clips in the normal way, because these clips are brilliant. I'm really enjoying doing the series as well, so thanks a lot for all of that, and I'll see you all soon.